And breaking news now at 6, a noticeable increase in immigration raids. Many are fearful of what they're seeing in their neighborhoods, with federal agents taking action across Southern California.
Videos are pouring in tonight showing federal agents at a car wash and church in Downey, a fruit vendor detained in the City of Industry, other detentions in Riverside and Baldwin Park. And yesterday, federal agents were seen swarming farms and packing facilities in Ventura County. Good evening again, everyone. I'm Carolyn Johnson. Colleen is off tonight.
And I'm Michael Brownlee. We're monitoring all of that. But first, the latest headlines here tonight. The U.S. Marines are in Seal Beach conducting a 2-day training. Now, after that, they're expected to help protect federal buildings and federal agents in their immigration operations. Tomorrow, a judge will hear arguments on Governor Newsom's emergency request to block President Trump's activation of those troops. And tonight, a curfew takes effect once again in downtown Los Angeles, covering areas in between the 3 major freeways, the 5, the 10, the 110. That again starts at 8 p.m.
In the meantime, criminal charges filed against numerous people suspected of violence during and after the immigration protests across L.A. County in recent days. Federal prosecutors have also announced cases against men suspected of trying to use bombs on officers.
And now local prosecutors say they have filed charges against several people accused of assaulting officers. Our investigative reporter Eric Leonard joins us live with an update. Eric?
Hi, Michael and Carolyn. What we're really beginning to see here is how authorities will treat these protest arrest cases. Both federal and local prosecutors say they plan to press the most serious criminal charges possible, and they provided a few initial examples today, like those 2 men the ATF says are accused of using Molotov cocktails to try to light police officers on fire. Federal prosecutors say these video clips from Paramount show a man with a Molotov cocktail firebomb, then show it being thrown in the direction of deputies doing crowd control. ATF special agent in charge, Kenneth Cooper, says deputies arrested the man, 23-year-old Emiliano Galvez, on June 7th, who now faces a charge of possession of a destructive device.
When he deployed that in a fireball, it luckily did not hit one of the deputies, as it clearly would have caused substantial physical injury or death.
The U.S. Attorney's Office says it's filed the same charge against a 27-year-old man from Long Beach named Racky Quigwe, accused in court filings of having a similar homemade firebomb and a lighter near the federal buildings downtown.
The importance of charging people federally is for people to know that there's serious consequences for their behavior, for their conduct. You have the right to peacefully protest. No one's going to stop you. But as soon as you cross that line into violence, you're throwing stuff, you're throwing rocks, you're throwing bombs. That's unacceptable. It will not be tolerated.
The L.A. County District Attorney's Office said today it's begun to file felony charges against some of the people arrested in recent days.
These people who want to go ahead and not protest and not engage in legitimate speech, but want to go ahead and commit crimes in our home, we're going to protect our home.
DA Nathan Hochman says that includes a man suspected of driving this minivan towards protesters in downtown, who Hochman says turned out to be a repeat felon armed with a gun. Charges against others include vandalism for graffiti, theft for the looting of a shoe store, and assaults on police. Hochman says he's considering dozens of other cases and says there's lots of video and other evidence out there.
We will know who you are, who engaged in this conduct. We will track you down. We will arrest you. We will prosecute you.
They're destroying our city. We're going to stop it.
Sheriff Robert Luna says there are also investigations into whether some of the people responsible for vandalism and violence had organized or coordinated. And he says many more arrests are likely.
If you come to demonstrate, that's great. If you come to throw things at us, attack our employees, you're going to get arrested. Maybe not that day, but later, and you're going to get prosecuted.
Now, if the men charged with those Molotov cocktails are convicted, that federal charge could carry a sentence of up to 10 years in prison. Both federal and L.A. prosecutors say there are dozens of potential felony cases still awaiting review, all stemming from the unrest that followed the demonstrations in recent days, not to mention hundreds of other people who could face less serious misdemeanor charges for allegedly failing to leave or violating all those new curfew orders. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Eric, thank you. We are seeing a 6th night of protests in downtown L.A. against immigration raids and the presence of the National Guard and U.S. Marines.
NBC4's Robert Kovacic live in downtown Los Angeles, where that protest is now on the move. Robert?
Michael.
Michael and Carolyn, first of all, if I'm talking over to you, I apologize. Second of all, you're going to pretty much stay any sort of tight on us on the sidewalk. We are keeping a distance. Pretty much stay any sort of tight on us on the sidewalk. We are keeping a distance from what's going on here, just because there's a lot of expletives that have been written. There's a lot of expletives that are being shouted. And what we are looking at right now is when we last saw you, we were at a protest that was in Pershing Square. That protest really calling for the end of what they said the militarization of Los Angeles, getting the National Guard out and the Marines when and if they do come to Los Angeles. Then suddenly those couple hundred, I would say there were about 500 in Pershing Square at that time, then decided to take to the streets, and they went up Hill Street, and now they were met by another group of people coming down. The majority of these people, as you can see, were in cars that were driving down 5th Street, met them at 5th and Hill, and now we're heading uphill towards 2nd, and this is a very large group that we are looking at now, say close to numbering 1,000. Some of them have been somewhat unruly. There's been a lot of anger shouted, but so far, you know, this was a group that when we talked to initially in Pershing Square said that they were there not only to say we want ICE out, we want the National Guard out, we want the Marines out when and if they come, but this was a group saying don't pay any attention to tonight's curfew at 8 o'clock. You have the right to take to the streets, you have the right to be on the streets, despite what Mayor Bass said, and so that group was saying say no to the curfew. Will they do that now as we head into the 6 o'clock hour? And what are you pointing to me, Eddie? One more time? Oh. And so now Eddie is showing me, our photographer Edwin Calderon, right across the street. You see the LAPD there watching here on Hill, not doing anything, allowing these people to express their First Amendment rights. They are standing by, shields down, face guards down. They're holding their non-lethals, being confronted by a few people on the street there. But as you see, we're sort of at the end of what started as two marches converging together, now heading up Hill Street. This time, as we have not seen a lot of in the past days, a lot of cars with a lot of Mexican flags. Nothing that we understand was this was an organized march as well, but this group now heads up Hill Street, and here we go. This is going to be a real litmus test, you guys. You know, the witching hour comes at 8 o'clock. It doesn't feel like anybody wants to pay attention to the curfew when it comes. So we continue to monitor this. We are here on the sidewalk just sort of watching these people go up the sidewalk, joined by many more. The numbers do keep growing. And right now, it's a lot of music, it's a lot of flag waving, and with the exception of the LAPD that we saw there, I haven't seen other members of law enforcement. I'm going to sneak off here to the side in case you have any questions and I can hear you.
Robert, we thank you for that coverage. We do appreciate it. Meanwhile, immigration operations were carried out in several cities today. We heard reports of federal agents outside churches and at car washes. Here's a look at what one of those operations looked like. You can see in the surveillance video agents chasing workers at a car wash in Downey. NBC4's Amber Frias has the details.
The video begins with agents in tactical gear entering a Downey car wash. They immediately start sprinting after workers. Here is a different angle. Witnesses say there was no warning, no announcement.
And I saw that they grabbed one man from right here, and then they grabbed another one.
According to the Clean Car Wash Workers Center, this is one of at least 26 immigration enforcement operations at car washes reported across LA County in recent days. They say another one took place Sunday at this Culver City car wash, where advocates and families of those detained are now rallying.
I never thought this day would actually happen.
Jaslyn's father, who is undocumented, was detained while working. With her graduation just hours away, she says instead of celebrating, she's demanding answers.
I just want my dad to come home safe. And I wish that he was able to see his little girl graduate.
Across LA, car wash workers say they are now living in fear.
Nosotros necesitamos trabajar, que tenemos familia, tenemos los biles que pagar y todo eso.
This car wash worker, who asked to remain anonymous, says he needs to keep working to support his family despite the fear. He shared this video from his job site in Westchester, where he says agents detained some of his co-workers just days ago. In the video, Border Patrol agents are seen asking questions, even joking with one employee about why they are there.
You guys came yesterday.
Did we?
Yeah.
Did we get car washes?
Many car wash locations have also decided to close to prevent any more of their workers from being detained.
We are watching, we are organizing, and we will not back down.
Meanwhile, advocates say they are fighting for workers, just looking to support their families.
Trump said he was just going to get the gang members, the people causing problems, and these young men were just trying to make money for their families.
Also in Downey, reports of a raid in a church parking lot.
Community members held a rally just a short time ago claiming that a pastor with Downey Memorial Christian Church was pushed by federal agents.
They kept asking us to step back and telling us that we couldn't be there. Some words were exchanged, and then this will stand in my mind where we said we don't want this in our property. This gentleman just shouted the whole country is our property.
Now, members say at least one person in their congregation is now in ICE custody. We've reached out to ICE for a response to the activity in Downey. We have yet to hear back.
And for more context, we want to explain the exact duties of the military personnel here in L.A. There are 4,000 members of California's National Guard and 700 Marines. You may see them referred to as Task Force 51. According to their commander, they do not conduct immigration arrests. However, they can temporarily detain people until local law enforcement arrive. Their main assignment is to protect federal buildings and agents, including ICE, as well as Homeland Security and the Border Patrol. As far as seeing Marines on our streets, they are conducting a 2-day training now. We're told they will be here as long as necessary. Hetty Chang recently reported that they will deploy within 48 hours. Task Force 51 members do carry ammunition, but that ammo is not loaded in their weapons.
We'll continue following the latest on these raids and the rallies. As you watch, you can always follow along with us here and on the NBCLA app. We have a special section dedicated to immigration right now on our website, NBCLA.com.
Every step used to hurt. Now I run just because I can. I was walking just 30 minutes after my double nano knee surgery. You know you were in a lot of pain. You just didn't know how much until you didn't have it anymore. Now I'm an athlete again. Honestly, I'm more active than I've been in the last 10 years. I have no physical restrictions. No hospital stay, no rehab center, no long recovery. Nano knee.
One comic book, one destination, one epic giveaway. This summer, the quest for the Holy Grail of comics arrives at Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel. Starting June 1st, Club Serrano members will have 5 ways to own a piece of history. And Action Comics #1, the comic book that saved the world, valued at over $400,000. Don't miss your chance to win on August 5th at Yamava Resort and Casino. Details at yamava.com. Must be 21 to enter. Please gamble responsibly.
I'm Doug. And I'm Damon, and we want to buy your house. Seller's Advantage has revolutionized the home selling process to get you more for your home. With no agent fees, no hassles, and no repairs, selling your home doesn't have to be overwhelming.
This is the second time we've used Seller's Advantage, and it was worth it.
It was nice not having to fix or stage anything.
It allowed us to just focus on moving.
Call now or visit sellersadvantage.com for a free, no-obligation cash offer.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
An accused rapist, murderer, and child pornographer. All illegal aliens caught because of President Trump's leadership. I'm Christine Ohm, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. And if you're here illegally, you will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. But if you register using our CBP Home app and you leave now, you could come back. Under President Trump, America will be protected.
Fear among farm workers today after immigration agents were caught on camera in Ventura County detaining people.
NBC4's Christian Casada spoke with farm workers in the Inland Empire, some of whom are undocumented. Christian.
That's right. Today we spoke to two undocumented women who tell us they have spent several decades working in the fields, and now their fear is at an all-time high. They say they came into the country looking for a better life, a better opportunity, and they even accomplished their American dream of becoming a homeowner. But now they say with the enforcement operations, they fear that it could all be taken away.
Pues tenemos miedo salir a trabajar.
After working several hours as a farm worker in Riverside County, we met Maribel, who did not want her identity disclosed because her illegal status in the country, she says, poses a big risk for herself and her family.
Nosotros nos raiteamos y...
We always carpool to work or anywhere we go, but before that, our eldest child, who is a U.S. citizen, scouts the area for any ICE activity. Tension among the undocumented community growing as scenes like this one spreads on social media, where undocumented workers were being detained by immigration officials in Ventura County.
Bro.
Or this scene playing out in a Riverside neighborhood Wednesday morning.
It's a very layered reality for our workers, for our farm workers, men and women that give their life to this state and this country and have never received anything in return and now are living through some very desperate times.
Luz Gallegos is the executive director of the Torec Legal Center that focuses on educating the immigrant community. She says the uptick in ICE activity across Southern California has caused an immense shakeup among families that live in the public shadow.
That we see our community's mental health just shot. You know, it's shot, and we see the fear in not only in the adults, in the kids, and that's what breaks our hearts. That no child should be living that terror, because it is terror.
El contacto con la piel sea esta parte.
The nonprofit says they are stepping up their outreach efforts on immigrant rights because many undocumented families are too scared to leave their homes.
Porque se ve mucho movimiento de que...
This undocumented mother says her family came to the U.S. over 20 years ago, bought a home, and has worked in the fields in severe weather to pay for rent, food, and her children's education. Her removal would be detrimental for the family since she says they don't have a path to citizenship.
Uno siempre en su mente eso, ese temor y eso pensar.
And Torec tells us they are seeing a concerning spike in the number of suicides, specifically in male undocumented farm workers that began since the beginning of the year. They say they recommend all undocumented people to have a plan for themselves and for their family in case they're detained by an ICE agent. Christian Cáceres, NBC4 News.